It's on? Oh, family, I'm Robin. I'm a real alcoholic. I want to welcome everyone to the Atlanta Step Up Society Big Book Study. The name of the study is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. I see a few faces in here, and basically what we do is we take the book of Alcoholics Anonymous and we make it come alive. This book is not a novel. It's not a history book. It's a book about us. It's a book about me. So what I do is I bring it alive and we break it down paragraph by paragraph, sometimes sentence by sentence, whatever it's going to take. We might do 3 pages. We might do 2 pages. We might just do 1 paragraph. It's up to the spirit, you know, and the group of how fast we move. We've been studying for the last 3 months the disease of addiction. When we get past step 1, it becomes more spiritual, because this is a spiritual disease. But you have to really understand your mind and body before you even want to tackle that. I can honestly tell you that I was a crackhead in church. And wasn't nothing spiritual about that. So let's open with a moment of silence and the serenity prayer. Serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I always think about how to explain a power greater than ourselves. And last night, I was at a Bible study, an all-male Bible study, and the instructor was, we was talking about a power greater than ourselves. And he said that he was sitting at the table with his daughters. He has 3 little daughters, 3 little girls. And he was asking them, is there anything in your life that is too hard for you to do? There's something you cannot do. And he said his middle girl, she was about 5 years old, she said, I know some things I cannot do. It's impossible for me to do. And he said that she said, I cannot move that car that's out in the driveway. I can't push it out the way, and I cannot drive it so I can ride my bicycle up and down the driveway. Then she said, the second thing is, I cannot move that minivan that mama drive that's behind your car. And I cannot, they have an RV, you know, one of the big RVs, and I cannot move that RV. It's impossible for me to do. It's a little 5 or 6-year-old girl. He said, then how can it be moved? She said, well, y'all can get in and drive it. I understand that. But some kind of way I believe that inside of me, there's a power.
Wow.
That if the time came and somebody will be coming hurt or the car gonna run over somebody, I believe that that power inside of me will give me the strength to pick that car up and move it. I said, wow. Sound like an alcoholic. Sound like a drug addict. 'Cause Lord knows I couldn't move that rock. It had to be a power inside of me to move it for me. That makes sense? She didn't look outside for that power. She looked inside herself. Because something on the outside, suppose it's weak, it ain't gonna be able to pick the car up. All right, we're on page 31. Down at the bottom, we do not like to pronounce any individual as alcoholic. Last week, we were talking about how we lived in self-deception. Remember that? How we tried every imaginable experiments to continue to drink, but trying to drink like normal people. And in the book lists about 14 or 15 different ways, but they use the word imaginable. So what the concept is that in our mind, we tried everything we could do to try to be or to convince ourselves that we were normal drinkers. Step 1 on page 30, and this is step 1, you don't have to go there. We learned that we had to fully concede to our innermost self that we were alcoholics, or a real alcoholic. This is the first step in recovery. The delusion that we are like other people, or presently may be, has to be smashed. That's step 1. The ideal, or to have some kind of belief that I'm a real alcoholic and I can return back to some type of normal stage of drinking, have to be smashed. And they use like heaven, imaginary. So they were saying that we tried everything under the sun to do it and could not do it. Once that ideal is destroyed, we no longer possess that. We know that we're real alcoholics or addicts. We accept that, then we are set free. That makes sense? There's no place on the planet that I am afraid to go. I hear people all the time. I hear people around here. Man, I can't walk down Boulevard. I can't go to this restaurant. That's fine, if that's what you believe. I'm here to tell you, you can go anywhere on earth if you know you have the disease of addiction. Because there's not too many places you can travel on earth where alcohol is not going to show up. If you think there's no alcohol in McDonald's restaurant or no alcohol in Burger King, go overseas. Go to Korea. I went to Korea 3 years ago. Every McDonald's had beer. Go to the Caribbean and go in a Burger King. They're drinking. So it's not too many places you can go. So the only place you can be set free is in your own mind. That makes sense? That's where you become set free. All right. So tonight we're going to start on page 31 down at the bottom. This is a deep lesson tonight. This is going to be deep. And I'm not going to say any more. I'm just let Mike read. Down at the bottom, we do not like to pronounce.
We do not like to pronounce any individual as alcoholic, but you can quickly diagnose yourself. Step over to the nearest bar room and try some controlled drinking. Try to drink and stop abruptly. Try it more than once. It will not take long for you to decide if you are honest with yourself about it. It may be worth a bad case of jitters if you get a full knowledge of your condition.
All right, here we go. We do not like to pronounce any individual as alcoholic. I'm not going to diagnose you, even though I know you are. I'm not going to point it out. I have plenty of family members that I know are alcoholics. You know? But it's not my job to pronounce them as alcoholic. But if you can hear my voice tonight, you're an alcoholic. But you can quickly diagnose yourself. I like to change this up a little bit though sometimes. Let me make it a little more funner. And laughter is healing. It's good for the soul, and if you can laugh at it, then I know you're healing. If you sitting back there talking about ain't a damn thing funny, we need to have a little meeting after the meeting. You can quickly diagnose yourself. Step over to the nearest crack house.
Oh boy.
And try some controlled smoking. Try it to smoke one and stop abruptly. Try it more than once. We know you're going to do that. It will not take long for you to decide if you are honest with yourself about it. It may be worth a bad case of geeking if you get a full knowledge of your condition. That's just a little fun, that's all. I'm going to respect the AA book. But the disease don't care. It don't care. It going to get you where it get you. You can go to the, let's say the Super Bowl coming up. You can go, you can go to one of them bars that you want to, right? And try some controlled drinking. I guarantee you, if you anything like me, let's be real. If you start drinking that first quarter, you a ghost at the second quarter. You gone. You not in that room no more. Or to flip it, if you start drinking, when everybody else gone home, you still in there. You at the 8th quarter. You ain't leaving the bar. So anywhere you look at it, there ain't gonna be no controlled drinking. See, that's the disease of addiction. Get back to the serious side. We have an allergy in our bodies. My body has an allergy towards alcohol. Any form of alcohol or drugs I put into my body, my cells synthesize. It's like Pac-Man. That little game? It want more, just give me more. Just eating. My craving, one drink equals one craving. So since I'm already craving, I'm going to want another drink. Then I take another drink and another drink. The craving becomes so large that my mind cannot stop me from craving. That makes sense? Yep. My mind cannot stop me from using. It gets so large. It's incapable of stopping me from using because of my body. That makes sense? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's very, very important. That's what made me really able to stay clean. Because all the psychological measures wasn't working for me. I would figure out how to go use. But once I found out it was my body that I was allergic to the stuff, it's like cancer in me, then I didn't want to use no more. You know? So just keep the body in mind, especially all the people who want to go out and teach this. And I encourage you to do it. People say, well, I can't do it like you, like me. Well, do it like you do it. I'm no saint or specialist in this stuff. I just been doing it for a long time. Some guy tried to challenge me today. I got him though. I got him good. Didn't I? Yes, you did. I told him I don't need no book. I did the whole Exceptional Man without the book. Word by word. I don't need no big book to teach the big book. That makes sense? Yeah. I am the big book. It's me. It had nothing to do with nobody else no more. Every page on here is me now. That makes sense? It's me. I don't need a book to teach a book. So they say, all right, so if you want to diagnose yourself, or if you think you don't have a problem, go to one of them bars, take a few drinks, try to stop, and then see if you can. If you can't, just keep coming back in here. All right. It may be worth a bad case of jitters if you get a full knowledge of your condition. And if you're honest with yourself, you will get a full knowledge. You can say, you know what, I can't control this. I really can't. I really knew that before they even asked me to go to a bar. All right, the next paragraph.
Though there is no way of proving it, we believe that early in our drinking careers, most of us could have stopped drinking. But the difficulty is that few alcoholics have enough desire to stop while there is yet time. We have heard of a few instances where people who showed definite signs of alcoholism were able to stop for a long period because of an overpowering desire to do so. Here is one.
All right. There's no way of proving it. We believe that early in our drinking careers, most of us could have stopped drinking. I believe probably in my early drinking, part of life, I could have stopped, because a lot of time I took it, or I would leave it. That was early, like young. But the problem was, I didn't want to stop. It wouldn't have made no difference. Nothing on earth would have made me stop, because I didn't want to quit. I thought it was hip, cool, acceptable, hanging out with people. It was something to do, and I wasn't going to get no bad results out of it. So I didn't want to stop. It said, but the difficulty is that few alcoholics have enough desire. That's that strong will, that strong wish to stop while there is yet time. I didn't want to quit. I ain't had no desire to quit. Even after 3 DUIs, I didn't want to quit. I didn't need to. Pay my little ticket, and then at that time, they were just getting you a little slap on the wrist for that. So it didn't mean anything. Then I went to college and joined the military where they promoted drinking. Okay. So that was right down my alley. Y'all want me to be good and drunk and throw up? Well, let's go. I'm with that. I heard they don't do that no more. But they were doing it when I was in there. All right. It said, we have heard of a few instances where people who showed definite signs of alcoholism were able to stop for a long period because of an overpowering desire to do so. Here is one. What they're leading up to is the next couple paragraphs. We're going to study, and this is a good study. It's called The Exceptional Man. All right. Y'all need to learn this one. It's called The Exceptional Man. This guy quit for like 25 years and went back, but we're going to break him down. We're going to see why he did it and what was the purpose for it and how we can eliminate trying to think or do something like that in our lives. That make sense? All right, let's do The Exceptional Man.
A man of 30 was doing a great deal of spree drinking. He was very nervous in the morning after these bouts and quieted himself with more liquor. He was ambitious to succeed in business, but saw that he would get nowhere if he drank at all. Once he started, he had no control whatever. He made up his mind that until he had been successful in business and had retired, he would not touch another drop. An exceptional man, he remained bone dry for 25 years and retired at the age of 55 after a successful and happy business career. Then he fell victim to a belief which practically every alcoholic has, that his long period of sobriety and self-discipline had qualified him to drink as other men. Out came his carpet slippers and a bottle. In 2 months, he was in a hospital, puzzled and humiliated. He tried to regulate his drinking for a while, making several trips to the hospital meantime. Then, gathering all his forces, he attempted to stop altogether and found he could not. Every means of solving his problem, which money could buy, was at his disposal. Every attempt failed. Though a robust man in retirement, he went to pieces quickly and was dead within 4 years.
All right, let's break this one down. This is good. A man of 30 was doing a great deal of spree drinking. Now, he was 30 years old. He was doing like we do. Erica's shaking her head up and down. She know. 30 years old. He was very nervous. That's them jitters, the shakes. In the morning, after these bouts, and quiet himself with more liquor. Remember last week we talked about, or maybe the week before, about the man having a headache and would beat his head upside the head with a hammer, thinking that he's gonna stop the headache? It's the same thing. He was very nervous in the morning after these bouts and quieted himself with more liquor. I remember when I was using that I thought it was acceptable and that if you wake up with a hangover, grab some more alcohol. Right. Drink a beer. It will help it. I don't know if it really did. But it was right down my alley. Some more. He was ambitious to succeed in business. There's a lot of people in here that really need to listen to this, because a lot of people here want to start businesses and succeed and be successful on their jobs. I hear those conversations every week. All right. And remember I told y'all how to pray, right? Last week, that night. And bring back your testimony. And they're starting to come through the door in 1 week. People are getting great rewards. So it says that he was ambitious to succeed in business, but saw that he could get nowhere if he drank at all. So this exceptional man wanted to do his business thing, but he saw that alcohol was getting in his way. And he said he couldn't get nowhere if he drank at all. So that he did have a desire to quit for his business sake, correct? Once he started that's drinking, he had no control whatever. So right there, that one sentence tells you if you have no control whatever, once you start, then you suffer from the disease of addiction. You have a mental obsession and a physical allergy, because once he started to drink, the allergy kicked in. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
He made up his mind that until he had been successful in business and had retired, I mean, he's going to do some 20, 30 years of working, right? He would not touch another drop. An exceptional man. He said, well, this drinking is not going to make me a successful businessman, so I will not drink until I retire. And that's what he did. He remained bone dry for 25 years and retired at the age of 55.